Hi, everyone. Welcome back to the Unleashing Potentials podcast. Joining me today is Angela. Is that how I pronounce your name?
Yes, ma'am.
Angela. Welcome back. You've been on the podcast before, but we did our recording on Facebook. So I'm just excited to have you back again to share more of your journey and story with us. To start, can you tell us where you are and a little bit more about you? Who is Angela?
So I am in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. I'm on the East Coast. I am the youngest of four siblings. Um, I'm an author, a motivational speaker. I'm a life coach. I also help those that want to self-publish. I help coach them in publishing. I am the visionary behind the Crew podcast. I'm also the visionary behind Aspiring Authors Magazine. My whole desire is just to be an outlet to be the change that we desire to see in this world. Um,
Mm-hmm,
so
mm-hmm.
that's the overview of who I am without going on and on.
Yeah, that's awesome. I'm so excited because I heard your story before, and I know for sure your story will help so many women, even men that have gone through what you've been through. Um, can you tell us more of what your childhood was like?
I lost my mom 12 days after my 16th birthday. Um, my childhood it wasn't the worst, but it wasn't the best.
Mhm.
There was a lot of struggles. I am a suicide attempt survivor. I attempted suicide. I'm a domestic violence survivor. Just a lot. Just a lot of stuff happened over the years that allowed me to get in a dark place. Um, and I endured some things that I'm grateful that God saw me through. Um, so
Mhm.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah, that's awesome. Thank you for sharing. Um, let's talk a bit more about domestic violence and some red flags that anyone who's experiencing it should look for, and how should they get out?
Well, now that I'm talking about it, when I was in the relationship, there was not a lot of red flags because I can't say that my husband beat on me prior to my incident. Um, of course, we had the normal um, arguments, like a lot of relationships, but as far as physical abuse, it was not there. What happened to me I would not have expected in a million years. Definitely wouldn't have thought that my husband would do it to me. I was shot point blank range with a sawed off shot. Didn't even know my husband had a gun. Um, but I never thought that would happen. But now that I look back at the incident, look back at a lot of stuff, I realized that if I had have reached out to some people when I saw different things, I knew that my husband was going through some things because right before the incident, there was an incident involved where we had to go and press charges against a family member for violating his child. So we was dealing with that.
Mhm.
Um, and I could have saw those signs of the mood swing, the different things, but I didn't. I didn't notice them. I wrote it off as if he's dealing with this. We're dealing with this. It is expected, but I didn't realize that he was using drugs as well.
Mhm.
Um,
Yeah.
he he was hanging out with his friend
Mhm.
the day of the incident. He was hanging out with his friend
Mhm.
and got caught up in using drugs. And I don't I don't let's say I'm not making excuses, not trying to make excuses for him because he did what he did. Um and there's no reason for anyone to hurt anyone. I always tell people, if if you feel like you're gonna hurt somebody or feel like something is not going the way it should go, then you should be the bigger person and walk away.
Yeah.
See, we get so caught up in pride and so caught up in wanting to be the right person, the person that's in control, the person in charge. When
Mhm.
sometimes we just need to humble ourselves and just walk away.
Mm.
And that didn't happen. Um, he allowed he allowed the things that he was going through to
Mhm.
control him, and it took the best of him, and he got caught up, and he did what he did. We can never take that back.
Mm.
And that sense of security, that sense of um, trust that I had, it's not there anymore, and will never be there anymore because you violated that trust. I wish him well because I want everybody. I, it's just like God just dealt with me in a different way,
Mm.
and I was able to find forgiveness. Sometimes you think that when people violate you and hurt you, that you can never forgive those people. But I
Mm.
had to learn that I had to forgive him so that I could move on with my life, so
Yeah.
that I could heal, so that I could truly heal. And so that's what happened, and I talk about it, I share, because I don't want other people to have to go through what I endured. I don't want other people to, have to suffer and think that, nobody else is going through this, nobody else has been through this, when there's so many of us go through stuff and we silently hurt inside because of pride. We don't want nobody to know,
Mhm.
you know.
Yeah. Yeah. Whew. Thank you so much for sharing. Um, I think you're an incredible, powerful woman who is walking in your purpose. And just me hearing your story, it opened up some things inside that needed to be open and be reflected on. And I hope it does the same for other people that are listening. And I think that there's a silent pandemic of abuse. It's a vicious cycle. Yes, there's the resources, the help, but those who need to get out, they don't always are able to get out, or there's no red flags like you mentioned. There's nothing, and out of nowhere it just happens.
Right.
Um, what has been your healing journey been like? How do you continue to heal every day?
So what I have done, I have wrapped myself around books. I wrapped myself around podcasts, and I wrapped myself around, trying to change some of the things that I err in my life,
Mm.
so that other people don't have to err. There's a saying, once you come into the knowledge of, and once you are, it is brought into your know-how, then you have to do better. When you know better, you have to do better. So now that I know these different things, now that I know these different avenues, now that I know a lot of things that I could have done different, I try to share those things, and I do it through writing. I do a lot of writing, inspirational writing. I write poetry. I love doing anthologies because it gives me an opportunity to give other people an outlet to share. Where some people may not be able to write a whole book,
Yeah.
they can write a chapter. They can write. Right now, we're doing a poetry series. I mean, it's actually a 3-book poetry series. The first book, um, there was 15 of us. We shared about forgiveness. We talked about forgiveness. We did it in a poetry format. They was able to share through poetry because a lot of people, they are not able to just write chapters.
Yeah.
So being able to just be able to write words that express your emotion, and
Mhm.
being able to put it on paper. So that's what we did inside of this book here, finding forgiveness. Um,
Oh, wow.
and God gave me hope for the second book, and then He broke down what that word hope meant for me.
Mhm.
Not saying that it resonates to everybody, but when he dropped that word in my spirit, the H stands for hindrance, the O stands for oppression, the P stands for purpose, the E stands for evolving eternally. And we shared, it was 9 queens, 9 women that shared with me inside of this book. The last book is called Finding Love, and he broke down that word love. The L stands for letting go and letting God. The
Mm.
O stands for overcoming oppression. The V stands for vision and writing the vision and making it plain. And the E stands for being equipped to educate, empower, and encourage the next generation. So I'm looking for 40 people to be a part of it. We have like 21 people signed up so far.
Oh, I'll be one.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm in. Yeah, I write poetry too. I love that you also write poetry. Um, I find that poetry is fascinating. One thing that many people misunderstand about poetry is that they overthink it.
Yes.
With the style that you do, I get the impression that you feel through it and you heal through it. It's not like professional and check all the words, and it's a healing outlet,
Yes.
correct?
It is an outlet for healing. The series is called Silently Hurt Inside, Hurt No More. And
Mm,
then each book has a subtitle. So then the first one was Finding Forgiveness, the second one was Finding Hope, and the third one was Finding Love. But with this third book, he also gave me he went a little deeper with it, and told me to do 40 people, and it was to represent the 40 days and 40 nights in the wilderness, to let people understand um, the 40 different shades of red, because there are 40 different people that's a part of it. And we get to to share our perspective, our from where we see love. And it can be loving ourselves, um, loving somebody else, and different ways to love. Because when a lot of people think about love, they think of the lustful love,
mm, yeah,
the February 14th love. It's always got to be somebody else involved, but
yeah.
they don't think about, you know, finding love within yourself,
Ooh,
finding love right here in your space so that you can
mm,
move on. But he also was dealing with me with the book, because the cover of it is red and it's all pretty, and love, and red represents love in a lot of different cultures.
yeah.
Um, so he gave me 40 shades of red, and red meaning resilient,
Mhm,
equipped,
mhm,
and delivered.
mm,
So um, it just resonated with me. You know, this journey that we've been on, it's not by chance. It's not by happenstance. It is because of our resilience, that will and the will that would not let us quit, that would not let us give up.
ooh,
So
yeah.
not only that, he reminded me that he equipped us for this. You know,
Mhm,
everything that we need or we think we need is already in us. And if
mhm,
we would just move out of our own way and allow him to be who he said he will be in our lives, then everything will be okay. I'm reminded of Genesis 2:7 when he says that he breathed a breath of life into us. You know,
ooh,
that breath that he breathed into us, you know, that right there. We don't need CPR to wake us up in the morning. We don't even need an alarm clock to wake us up in the morning,
yeah,
because he breathes that breath into us. Until he say it's done, we're gonna get up. So everything that we need was imparted in us. When he breathed that breath, he's in us.
yeah.
He's never gonna leave us. If we make our bed in hell, he's gonna be there, because
Ooh,
he promised us that.
mhm,
So I'm just reminded that, you know, we are equipped. So it's up to us to tap into those things that he's placed on the inside of us. No,
yeah.
everybody's not gonna go where you're going. Everybody's not equipped to go where you're going, because he didn't call everybody to the same thing. We all have a place in this society. We all have a place in this kingdom. We all have something that we're supposed to do. Just like the parts of our body, every single
Yeah,
part of our body has a thing, a function that it's supposed to do.
Mm-hmm.
If you took my pinky off my hand and it just was out there, it wouldn't be able to function because what if it wouldn't be able to move? It wouldn't be able to do nothing. It'll
Yeah.
just be there. It'll just be a pinky.
Yeah.
But when it's on my hand, it can move. It
Mm-hmm.
can do, it can do what it's supposed to do to help with the rest of my body functioning.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So we as people, that's what we're supposed to do. We are a part of the kingdom. We are part of the bigger picture.
Mm-hmm.
Even though we all have different religions, we all have different backgrounds, we all have different beliefs, it's still one God. And
Mm-hmm.
at the end of the day, we got the answer to that one God. How
Mm-hmm.
you get there, that's totally up to you because he give us free will. We
Ooh.
got free will to choose how we want to get there.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So on this journey, I tell you, I have been delivered from people. I have been delivered from myself.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just so glad that I was given a second chance. I was given a second chance a couple of times.
Mm-hmm.
And if I keep on living, I'm probably going to be given another second chance
Yeah.
because somewhere in the Bible, I ain't no Bible scholar or no theologian, so I have to let people know that. But somewhere over there in the Bible, it do say that the righteous fell 7 times. How
Yeah.
do they fall 7 times if they don't pick themselves up, dust themselves out, and give themselves another chance?
Yeah. Yeah.
You wouldn't even know that they failed 7 times if they didn't try again. So
Mm-hmm.
they give us that parable so that we know that, hey, you gonna fall. You
Mm-hmm.
may fall,
Mm-hmm.
but dust yourself off. Get up. Go
Yeah.
on.
Yeah.
And some of us we get caught in whatever we're going through.
Mm-hmm.
And we just allow that to consume us and allow that to take us over. And that's where I was a lot of in my life. Like, how did I get to domestic violence? Because if you look
Yeah.
at my life before domestic violence, you would have never thought that that would be me. Because the person that you see now,
Mm-hmm.
that's how I was before I went through the domestic violence. But when I was going through the domestic violence, I was I was a different person.
Wow.
I was somebody that was dealing with a lot of hurt. I was somebody that was dealing with a lot of letdown, disappointment. Everything that could have went wrong went wrong. I was dealing with depression and didn't even know I was dealing with depression. I was dealing with the loss of my mom because I never properly grieved. But because when different families, different backgrounds, environments, they suck it up to be strong.
Mm.
Pray about it. But some stuff you just can't pray about. Some
Ooh.
stuff you just
Yeah.
can't suck up. Some stuff you need that professional attention. You
Mm-hmm.
know, God created all of us. He
Yeah.
created all these professions. He created a psychologist. He created the numerologist. He created every single person that has a title. He
Mm-hmm.
created them. He knew that one day we was gonna need them. That's why he created them. He knew that they was gonna play a part in the fullness and the wholeness of the society in the kingdom.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So I had to go to therapy. I had to see a psychiatrist. I had to see 2 counselors because I wanted to know who Angela was.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to get back to that loving person, that caring person, that person that did not carry attitudes, that person that did not walk around thinking that the world owed her something and they owed me nothing.
Yeah.
And that's where a lot of us are because we get hurt, we go in these shells and we tune everybody out, we block everybody out, and we don't want to bother, and we just mad at the world. But that's
Mm-hmm.
not what God wants for us.
Mm-hmm.
He has placed us all here to be helpmates one to another,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
helpmates one to another. So yeah.
You're filling my cup today. Good Lord, thank you. Wow. I love everything you've shared. I'm just absorbing all of it. I needed to hear everything you've shared because I've felt those highs and lows and emotions, and I know I'm not alone. You have done so much healing, and it's evidently clear, and you're helping other people heal. You've gotten to that place because you made the choice and decision that you were not going to stay where you are, where you were not going to become your circumstances. You realize you had more power over them. And that's truly, truly inspiring. Thank you for blessing me and many others that are watching this, and those in your community and those that you work with. Thank you. You're a beacon of hope and light. And I'm just honored to know you, period. And I thank God for you. Thank you. Whew. I didn't know if this was going to be that juicy today. Thank you so much. Um, we're going to talk about suicide. Okay, it's one that it's a topic that most people don't want to talk about, even though they've been there. I have attempted myself, not recently, and I've had to get psychiatrist help, counselors, I don't know, all the different professions to help. How can we ask for help and not be diminished by those that we're seeking help from, even from ourselves, not shrinking and make ourselves feel small?
Well, first you have to find people that you know are genuine, and people that are truly, you know, passionate about what they're doing. You know, I'm so grateful for the circle that I have come in contact with. I now have the experience, the knowledge and the experience of working with people that look like people that really can resonate with the trauma that may have experienced, and not even knowing, because a lot of the stuff that a lot of us deal with, you know, this stuff is passed down from generation to generation. People don't understand that we can pick up trauma from our moms. When our mom was carrying us, she could be carrying trauma from when her mom carried her, and things that she may have experienced, and it just keeps coming down and keeps coming down until it's identified. Like I said, I dealt with depression for 15 years. After losing my mom 15 years, I dealt with not properly grieving, and I carried a anger that was just people would see me and walk past me sometime and say they didn't know if they wanted to speak or run in the other direction.
Mm.
And I am not that person. I am the person that will give you the shirt off my back, but I carry my emotions on my face. You can see it. And for a long time, I had this nonchalant look. So you could say something to me, and I would just be like, and if you angered me, you knew I was angered because it I wore everything on my face. But when you find people that you can relate to, like now, I I tell people, you are never, if you suffer with mental illness, you suffer with these different things, it's always going to be there. And all of us have some type of mental illness going on. It may not just be as powerful in some people's lives, or some people may have it under better control, because there are things that you can do to control the different things that are happening in your body. A lot of us suffer from a lot of different things because of the chemicals, the chemical makeup of our bodies, the imbalance of chemicals in our body,
Mhm.
and then the environment. You have so much in the environment that triggers different things that keeps things off balance. But when you have people, I have a group of people. Matter of fact, I'm going to be doing a podcast. I have 5 individuals that's going to be coming on the 13th to share with me, and they come from different professions. You have two that are therapists. One is a holistic therapist. She is a certified massage practitioner, where she uses massage therapy to do a lot of her counseling sessions. Because again, like I say, when you're out of balance and out of whack, it throws a lot off. It throws a lot out. And when you can holistically, without chemicals, get these things back balanced, like changing your diet, walking, being out in the sun, getting fresh air. Those are things that can stimulate and balance what's going on in your body. But a lot of us we don't know that, because a lot of us we don't do the study, we don't do the research, we don't do the extra stuff, look into the extra stuff, nor do we pick up the phone to call somebody or even go on the internet or pick up a book. We just brush it off at whatever, 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 and then we'll ask somebody else for advice. But I have surrounded myself around some Black mental health professionals that look like me. And not only that, a lot of them have been through things of their own, was the reason why they turned to become mental health professionals and to get certified, so that they could not only deal with their stuff, but they could help other people to relate. Because when you can relate to something because you've been through it, you can better serve the people that you're serving. And that's where a lot of the Black mental health professionals are able to assist us a lot better. I tell you, I've had some people say they tried therapy, it didn't work for them. And I asked them, I say, well, who's your therapist? And then when they tell me, I'll say, well, you might want to go try a therapist that look like you. And I guarantee you might get some better results, because they can relate to the trauma that we've experienced. Some people can't relate. Like I've experienced both types of therapists. I've had a Caucasian therapist and I've had a Black therapist. And even though my white therapist was good, my Black therapist was great, because she could relate. And not only could she relate, she had been through some of the things that I had been. So when I tell you, it is just being able to talk to somebody, even if they're not a professional. You have coaches out here now, life coaches, that can help you, and it might be just getting you on a natural routine of walking, changing what you eat, just changing your mindset.
Yeah.
Because every little thing that you change about you is a change to better you and to help bring you out. I tell you, when I woke up and said I wanted change and I gotta change, it just lit something under me. And I started connecting with different people in different avenues. So it was always um, just about getting help and wanting to come from that place where I was, looking for a better place, so that I could be that change that I wanted to see in this world. Because we oftentimes complain about everything that's going on, but we're not willing to do anything about it. But I knew that I couldn't help nobody if I was still hurting. I couldn't help nobody if I wasn't fully healed. How could I help
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, definitely. You brought up a few keywords which I've had to define. Uh, Triggers, trauma, healing. How can we not lash out at people because they're triggering something that they may not even know that they're triggering us? I think you've answered some of it, to go inward, but some of us do not want to go inward. We do not want to feel. It hurts to feel. It hurts to go back, at least in my case. I did everything I could. I would taekwondo anybody who would remind me of where I went. Um, what are your takeaway on healing and triggers and trauma?
So, in order to heal, um, you have to address those things that trigger you. Um, when you have to be able to recognize those triggers so that you can find alternative ways to get through those triggers. If you know if you know fireworks gonna aggravate you, gonna set you off, then you don't want to go to no fireworks show. You want to be far away from fireworks. You want to make sure that you let people know. I mean, you have to be able to be vocal. You can't just write things off as I'm just gonna suffer. I'm just gonna go through this. But no, let people know when they have done something to hurt you or done something that is not comfortable to you. Because, like you say, sometimes people just don't know. And when they don't know, they can't do nothing about it. It's when we know we can do something about it. So being able to identify those things that trigger you. If you know watching scary movies or watching movies with violence is gonna trigger you, then don't go to the movies with when those movies are playing. Don't watch it on TV. Um, like we have to be able to set boundaries. You have to know that hey, this triggers me, so I can't be around this.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah, 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 you're right. Boundaries. I love the word boundary, but not all of us know how to set them. How can we set boundaries with families and with ourselves?
well, in order to be able to set boundaries, you first have to love you.
Mm,
You have to be willing to put you first.
mm,
Being able to put you first and being able to that word no. That word no is so powerful. And a lot of us we're afraid to use it.
yeah.
See, no is no. It's a complete sentence. It's not a question mark behind it. And it's no. N-O. No. Them two letters is a complete sentence. It actually, if you ask me something and I say no, that should be all said.
Mm,
And when you begin to love yourself and you begin to you have to be able to take authority of you and say enough is enough and I'm not going to allow this. And when you say enough is enough, I don't care who they are. I've had to walk away from friends. I've had to walk away from family members. If you mean me no good, I don't need you in my life.
mm.
I don't care who you are. If you mean me no good,
Yeah.
I don't need you in my life. Point blank, period.
Mhm,
Not no question marks behind that. And we have to learn how to set those boundaries.
mhm,
We
mhm,
have to know if you are abusive to me verbally, mentally, emotionally, however, if you are anywhere out of the character that I represent, then I don't need you in my space because you're taking away from my peace, my joy. And I
mm.
don't need that.
Whew, that's
So
powerful stuff.
loving you,
Mhm,
loving you,
mm,
loving you, and forgetting about what everybody else thinks. Because guess what? They have no heaven or no hell to put you in.
mm. Yeah.
So guess what? This is your life. You got to stand before him. So love you and
Mhm,
what you want to be done. And
mhm.
learn how to say no. No,
Mm.
no, 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 no.
Wow. This is the type of boundaries and spirit that I wish every woman had because I'll speak for myself too. I've struggled with boundaries, especially with families. I'm like, I love you, but you're killing me. Because I want to help you, but you're killing me, right? And I needed to hear that just today, to say no. And we often people make us feel guilty when we say no to them, as if we're a bad person for not entertaining their toxic or bad behaviors. How can we deal with guilt in that situation and just I don't know if there's even a way to just deal with it. You just say no like you said.
I say no and mean it. And I'm not compromising. I'm not I'm not having pity parties. I'm not doing that. I'm not I'm not finna please nobody. I'm not no. I've been a people pleaser for too long, trying
Mm,
to please everybody, and I'm over here hurting.
yeah.
Who? Why? No, not doing that no more.
Mhm, mhm.
Not doing that no more. And you
Yeah.
have to get to a place where you say no, enough is enough. And when enough is enough, when you get tired of something, you do something about it.
Oh
So
yes.
then you have to tell and then sometimes you have to tell your family member the same thing. You know, when You get tired of whatever it is that you're going through, then you'll want to change. And when you want to change, then you can come holler at me. Then you can come talk to me.
Yeah.
We can have them conversations. We can have conversations. I'll help you along this journey. But until you ready to change, because you can take a cow to the pond, but you can't make them drink. You can take them out to the field, but you can't make them graze.
Mm,
You can't make nobody do nothing.
yeah. Yeah.
So I ain't finna kill myself. I ain't finna let I'm not trying to look like I'm 100 years old and I ain't even reached 50 yet. No, not doing it. Mm-mm.
Yeah. 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 Oh, I love your energy. Yeah. Oh man, yeah, yeah, that's true. Are those some of the topics you talk about on your podcast? Tell us more about your podcast.
So I'm actually a part of um, two networks outside of my own network. So I have a network called the Crew Podcast Media Network. I have seven hosts that's a part of the network. So we talk about various topics. I actually do a lot of the behind the scenes stuff. I am only on set whenever there's a vacant spot, a host may need time off or whatever. I step in and do shows. So that's why I'm doing the panel shows coming up. But normally when I'm on, I just talk about anything that has to do with change. Anything that can change what's going on in this world. We talk about since this month, and mostly I focus on whatever the advocacy for this month is. So this month, there's a lot of things that people are advocating for. Shire malformation, which is a brain disorder. Um, we have sickle cell awareness this month, and it's something that some of my family members suffer from. And it is the sickle of the white blood cell, and it is a very debilitating disease because they have pain crisis out of this world. My cousin has had so many surgeries. Um, it's just it's saddening. But we talk about those things. We talk about suicidal awareness. Also, this month is blood cancer awareness. You also have prison awareness. So we're talking about a lot of different things. On my Monday morning motivational show, I just want to motivate people. Sometimes I have guests on, and we just come on to motivate for 30 minutes. It's called a half hour power, and it's just 30 minutes of encouragement, 30 minutes of letting you know that hey, you got a new week. We starting a new week. You got a new opportunity to do something bigger and better than last week. Something you may not have done last week. You got another opportunity to do it this week. So it's just motivation. I am on WBNN. My show airs every 4 weeks on Wednesday. So I have a show September the 20th, and I will be talking about um, sickle cell. I think we're talking about sickle cell and suicide. I think I'm going to have some of the panelists that's going to be on the 13th on my show on the 20th because even though we're doing that panel discussion, I think I have like 5 people. We're not going to have a lot of time because we're only on for an hour. We won't have a lot of time to really give give them an opportunity to really talk about what they're doing because we're going to be talking about suicide and the different things that um, resources and different things that people can do to bring it to light and to assist those that may be suffering from those issues. So that's basically what my shows consist of. I just am. They have labeled me the queen of collaboration. So I definitely love to collaborate. I love to bring people together. So
Yeah.
that's what I do. So I
Yeah.
use my platforms as outlets to allow other people to come on, share their brands, share their perspectives of whatever the topic may be. and to just be an outlet. Because
Yeah.
there are a lot of hurting people in this world, and there are a lot of people that think that they don't matter and that they don't have a voice. And I want them to know that they do. We
Mhm.
didn't get dropped out of the sky. God strategically placed us here. We didn't. We didn't get dropped out of the sky. Jeremiah 29 and 11, it reminds me of that because he said, "For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord.
Mhm.
Plans to prosper you and not to harm you. Plans to give you hope in the future." That does not sound like somebody that dropped us out of the sky. It sounds like he strategically placed us here because he knew what we were to here to do, that what we was planned to do. So, I tell people all the time, if you're waiting for something to happen, you're waiting for somebody to ride out the sky, you waiting for that white horse to ride down, you waiting for something to drop out, it's not gonna happen. He placed you here to be that change. He placed us all here. We all have a destiny on this earth.
Mhm.
So
Mhm.
it's up to us to catch up with our destiny because it's already been mapped out. Everything that we're gonna do, he already know what we're gonna do. It's like he already mapped it out. When he said it was done, it was done.
Mhm.
Nothing new is gonna come from under the stars, the sun, the moon. Nothing is coming. Everything is already here. So
Yeah.
when we hear about new inventions, we hear about new, 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 new. No, it was already planned.
Mhm.
Somebody just walked into their destiny. That's all that is. Somebody walked into their destiny, and that's what we need to do.
Mhm.
If you lost, if you thinking that there's nothing for you to do, that there's no hope, that you're hopeless, that everything is just coming against you, and no, it's not. Get out his way and
Yeah.
your own way and allow him to be who he said he will be in your life.
Mhm.
And I'm telling you, if you do that, man, things will begin to open up for you. Doors will begin to open because I know for myself, ain't nothing nobody told me, something that I experienced, something that I
Yeah.
went through.
Yeah.
When I moved out my way and allowed God to be who he had said he would be in my life, see, I would read these scriptures and I
Mhm.
would hear people talking about these scriptures, but I was that person that said, you know what? I ain't never experienced nothing. I ain't never experienced nothing. And I said it out loud one day and I began to go through some things. And then
Mm.
when I began to go through some things, God began to show me some things.
Mhm.
He
Mhm.
began to show me some things. So I'm telling you, if you move out your own way, allow
Yeah.
him to be who he said he will be in your life, things
Mhm.
will begin to open up for you.
Mhm.
Doors will begin to open because I tell people all the time, who would have thought me, good old girl from the country? I'm from a little place called Level Land, South Carolina. People never heard of it. And if you blink, you gonna miss it. You
Yeah.
blink, you gonna miss it. But
Yeah.
I come from a place like that.
Mm.
My street was one way in and one way out. Everybody that lived on my street was my first cousin or my second cousin. So you think you little country girl like that, she ain't going nowhere. She ain't gonna do nothing. Never would have thought I would have been speaking in Dubai, speaking in Pakistan, speaking in Africa, speaking in Australia, speaking in different places. Who would have thought I would have been the author of 66 books, working on the 67 and 68 right now as we speak,
Mhm.
on the road to 100 published before I turned 50 and remind I'm 48.
Mhm.
So I got 2 years to accomplish that.
Mhm.
But who would have thought? I never thought I would write one book. Never wanted to write a book. I'm doing a lot of stuff that I never thought I would do. You're
Mhm.
looking at a young lady that I've been nominated to be inducted into the International Internet Radio Hall of Fame. If I get inducted in, I'll get inducted in on next month.
Mhm.
I mean, it comes with a diamond ring. It comes with accolades.
Yeah.
Who would have thought a little country girl from Levelland, South Carolina,
Mhm. Mhm.
would be doing something like that? A lot of people still they don't know what I do. They just know that I'm away from Levelland. I'm not in Levelland. They don't know what I'm doing.
Mhm.
And I'm still sometimes have to pinch myself in because I'd be amazed. You know, every other week I'm getting a nomination for this, a nomination for that, a nomination for this, who I never would have thought none of this. But to
Yeah.
God be all the glory. Because guess what? If I had not moved out of my own way and allowed God to be who He said He would be in my life, I would have been still stuck over there looking crazy.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So I just tell anybody, move out your way and let God be.
Yeah, yeah, and don't care of what people say or think, like,
Okay.
and don't let fear hold you back. Yeah, yeah. You remind me of my Tyler Perry. We watch
Yes,
we watch
everybody say that.
we watch
Everybody
and
say that.
listen to his or her stuff all the time. Yeah, yeah. Oh my gosh. The power in your story and your spirit, it's full of love and light. I just want to hear more and more and more. And you prove them wrong. Like when you say, who would have thought? Like in my case, like little black girls with corny braids from third world country. That's what most people call it, right? I'm speaking English. I didn't know if I could ever speak English or even be here and do what I'm doing. You've inspired me so much. Oh my gosh. How can I ever repay you back for what you give me and what you're giving other people?
Just keep doing what you're doing, because what you're doing is touching lives. It's allowing people to be an outlet. It's allowing people to come on and to share their stories where somebody may not have heard my story if it had not been for you.
Yeah.
So you just keep doing what you're doing, and I was you inspired me. You know, I saw what you were doing. I said I want to be a part of that.
Hmm.
So you know, it's all in God's timing, and He knew what we needed. He knew that this day was going to be this day. He
Yeah.
knew that already.
Yeah. Yeah. Whew.
So you just keep showing up and keep allowing Him to be who He said He would be in your life.
Hmm.
And
Hmm.
we just keep proving everybody wrong. We keep letting them to put another statistic by.
Mm.
Not this time.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah.
And
Next.
not only that, in exactly 10 days, I'll be walking across the stage with honors. 30 years later, I'm graduating from college. I started college. I went to college, but I didn't finish. And in fact, I got a scholarship to play basketball, played basketball, but I did not graduate. But in
Wow.
10 days, I will be walking across the stage with my bachelor's in business administration with honors. I've maintained a 4.0 the whole time I've been in school. I've been on the president's list. And
Mhm.
then I'll be going on to work on my master's degree.
Mhm.
Not only that, I am going to be receiving an honorary doctor's degree for the humanitarian work that I do. So I am grateful for that. That was one of the biggest things that touched me this year. You know,
Yeah.
that somebody recognized the things that I do. You know,
Mhm.
sometimes you think that you're just out here just doing it, and nobody sees or nobody appreciates
Mhm.
the things that you're doing.
Yeah. Yeah.
So for people to recognize you, for people to nominate you for different awards,
Mhm.
I'd be over here crying so much, and it'd be tears of joy because
Yeah.
guess what? I chose Jesus over myself. And
Mhm.
that's what I tell people. If you want your joy back, choose Jesus over yourself
Ooh.
and watch what he do for
Yeah. I want a piece of the God that you're serving. I want all of him too. That is so
you. Yes.
beautiful. Wow. I'm speechless. That's powerful. You have 59 books, almost 60 books.
Well,
How
actually, I
powerful
have
is that?
64.
Ooh.
65. Well, no, hold on. 65 dropped. 65 dropped already. So I now have 65. I'm working on 66, 67, and 68. They will drop before the end of the year.
Do you have a library of your books in your home somewhere?
Um,
In
I
your
have
office?
I actually have 3 crates full of books.
Oh,
Um, I have inside of my closet. I have some old milk crates that
yeah.
I turned into bookshelves. They shelve my books. So I have 3 crates of books. Not just my books, but I have books from other authors that I've met,
Mhm.
other authors that have been a part of my platform. And most of the books that I have are from authors that I've actually part of my platform and authors that I've met. Um, because I truly believe in supporting my brothers and my sisters.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm on I'm on the road to publishing 100 books before I turn 50. That is my
Wow.
goal, and that's what I plan to do.
Mhm, mhm,
So I'm just putting it out there.
mhm,
I love doing anthologies because I love sharing with individuals and giving other individuals an opportunity to share. So
mhm,
yeah.
mhm. Wow, beautiful. What are some words of wisdom that you would like to leave my audience with today?
Be the change that you desire to see in this world. The change that you want starts with you.
Mhm,
So if
mhm,
you won't change, you have to change.
mhm. And there are those who do make excuses for not changing. I used to be one of those person. I would use my illness, my past, my trauma, just to not move because it gave me a reason to stop and take a break. A break that I didn't need to take. It wasn't necessary.
And words of my big brother, excuses are for the incompetent. You're
Ooh,
not incompetent, so there's
mm,
no excuse.
mm, ooh. My ego needed that. Yeah, yeah. Thank you for sharing. Wow. Where can my listeners find you and support your work?
So I am all over the place, but if you go to Linktree / Queen of Collaboration, you can
Mhm,
find all of the places I am. I am on Amazon. I am on YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, U42. I'm on most major platforms that
yeah.
share podcasts, that stream podcasts, that do whatever. If you just Google Queen of Collaboration or Google
Mm,
Angela Thomas Smith, you'll be able to find me as well. But Linktree,
yeah.
Queen of Collaborations is the best place. You can just go over there and scroll down all of the different things that's on there. And if you want to click on them, you can just click on them and go and see what all I'm doing, what I got coming up, what I got going on, what I have been.
Yeah. And you're on the podcast. I'm like mind blowing.
Yes.
Wow. Well, Angela, thank you so much for everything that you do, for blessing, for empowering, for reviving, for healing, and for inspiring. You've inspired me, you filled my cup and blessed me with your authenticity, your energy, and everything that you're doing. I'm looking forward to working with you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you
you.
so
And
much.
I look forward to working with you too.
Yes, yes, me too.